I want to personally talk about two sort of games that people don't really talk about anymore. I'll be completely honest with every single person out there right now. I really enjoy platform fighters. When I first played Smash Bros, especially when it came to Brawl, it sort of gave me this love that I have for the genre that I haven't been able to shake even until this day. And I know, I talk about Smash Ultimate being bad so much when it comes to this channel, and I understand that it's pretty annoying. And true, I may not like it anymore now. There was a time when I played Smash Ultimate and I actually really enjoyed it. But that's not the case anymore. And I've tried a hell of a lot more platform fighters out there. I've talked about Rivals of Aether, I've talked about Rushdown Revolt, and I've even talked about indie things such as Stardust Valkyrie that no single other sort of channel actually talks about. I enjoy the genre a lot. And because I enjoy it so much, it makes me want to research the past. And within that past, and within that research, there's two games out there that just make me heartbroken to this day. Air Dash Online and Earth Romancer. Now true, technically I'd be too young in order to enjoy these sort of games, and there couldn't be anything that I could have done to actually save these games. But it just makes me so sad that this sort of potential that we could have had in the platform fighter series is gone. It kind of makes it sting a lot more, especially since things like multiverses, things like Nick All-Stars just didn't hit the mark when they really should have. Especially when these games that I'm going to bring up, these games that are part of a history, didn't have a chance. So before it gets too sobby in this fucker, let's just get into it. Air Dash Online. Developed by JV5 Games. Air Dash Online was shown to many people in the Smash community. Not in a bad way either. Many of them took it in high regard, so much so that even Mewtwo King was a tester for this game. Looking back on it, it looks a little rough. But this game was made years ago, so I'm willing to give it some grace and look on the inside rather than the outside. You would hear Air Dash Online, and the first thing you would probably think about is, well, what's the air dash like in this game? Well, to explain it clearly, instead of the standard air dodge, it's actually a burst of movement towards the direction you're aiming at. It's actually more conventionally a traditional fighter air dash than anything else. So instead of using it mostly for defensively, you use it to really bring in the offense. On top of that, to give characters sort of diversity, certain air dashes are different to each other. A character named Tesla's air dash would actually hit people like an aerial, like a conventional aerial, which could combo into other stuff if you had the option to. A character called Chai actually phased through people when she used her air dash. Now this was the one that was primarily used to escape. Togen's air dash kind of acted like a monkey flip where you can actually sort of pseudo grab people. This character's air dash actually creates a steam-like trail like Eliana would do. And Vias's air dash had super armor, which is pretty cool. This by itself made air dashing in that game very unique and useful to spam on for the opponent. But it isn't the only thing about that air dash that's very important. Apparently, Air Dash Online also had another thing added to it. You could apparently cancel air dash into an aerial and vice versa. Well, this definitely reminds you of something.
3, 2, 1, rush.
I don't know if Mewtwo King was smoking too many doobies and recommended this, but it sounds broken as hell. But looked pretty fun to watch. Just seeing these characters just move on to the battlefield and use their air dashes in order to catch people. Even though it looked pretty rough around the edges, for what it's worth, it looked pretty sick. And I think what just eats at me the most, besides the cool mechanic, is that most of these illustrations, they went to waste. A lot of these characters are just so cool and so refreshing, so very new, and the art style just looks amazing, just for it all to just suddenly end. You have a powerhouse looking evil character that looks so cool to play. You had the main character who looked like fucking Final Fantasy character. You had a cute little weapons dealer sort of character. You had look at the supposed Marth clone. Look at her. She actually looked fantastic. This world just looks so alive, and the illustrations look so amazing, and just it makes me a little. It makes me sad. It makes me sad that something like this that had a lot of potential and looked like it was going well just ended, and I could find nothing in order to explain all this. I can't contact the people, I can't contact the music director, I can't contact them. I can't even get a copy of the game because it's just gone forever. The only thing that like survived is some of the illustrations, some of the pre sort of videos that came up, and like one OST music soundtrack. I don't really know what happened to this game. And, you know, maybe, just like Multiverses and just like All-Stars, maybe if it actually released, maybe it wouldn't have done well. But the fact that you did all this work just to stop and you didn't even get the chance doesn't sit right with me. It's a little heartbreaking because so many times beforehand you get, especially nowadays, you get so many people that put Smash on this sort of pedestal and this sort of thing where it won't ever be defeated, only to realize that something like so genuine like this just never had the chance. It's not even about defeating Smash at this point. It's just about knowing the fact that people didn't even have the chance. It's sad. And even though it's a long shot, I hope and I pray that somewhere out there, someone used that code and is doing something with it. But I guess that's just hopeful thinking. Alright, the second one. Earth Romancer. When I think about Earth Romancer, I get very discouraged, because the potential mixed with the amount of work done was just too much, only for just nothing to be completed over the years. The title seemed so clean, so fun, with a lot of creativity. Comparable to even the most recent titles like Rushdown Revolt and Rivals of Aether. Hell, just even skimming through what the sheer amount of basic mechanics that it had blew and still blows my mind. You could compare it to an ocean, there were so many things it had. Wave dashing, Dakas, Roman cancels? This game looked like it was gonna have it all, man. And even then, it still wasn't done. You were gonna have an ability to move pieces of a stage through certain inputs. Your jumps and your air dashes can actually be used against projectiles to prevent excessive zoning and even potentially change styles at the press of a button. The sheer sort of options and mechanics that could have been in this game is akin to a kid in the candy store. You could fucking rot your teeth with the amount of variety that this game had. Which bodes the question, why was this platform fighter canceled? Well, it's technically not canceled, but I actually got in contact with the creator of this sort of thing, and these would be their words to this sort of thing. It is technically on an indefinite hiatus. A mix of not enough money, time, and help with the project nailed the hiatus sign on it, which is a pretty big shame. Some people feel as though that Rushdown Revolt is the Guilty Gear of platform fighters. But honestly, in a different timeline, this game could have been the Marvel vs. Capcom of potential platform fighters. A sugar-infused, cocaine-filled mess that was beautiful. Which is a big shame, because its potential was never realized. Mauser is the person that created Earth Romancer, and they've done more than just that to prove how they love platform fighters. They have done work for platform fighters even I've ignored, such as Slayers for Hire and Blindsight. Very underrated games, and would love to do more personal stuff. They would love to make another fighting game, whether it be a platform fighter, a traditional fighter, whatever it may be. So I say this, you want to see something from them again? You want them to see them make another game that'll rock the community? Then please, give them a follow. And support their Patreon, damn it. Because there's no way that someone who could have made this doesn't deserve a second chance. Now, this is all to say one specific question. Through all the doom and gloom, is the future of platform fighters bleak? It's not. And it's just beginning.